Hey YouTube, Gamer Ninja here, and welcome to the next deck profile. Again, cutting this a bit close. It'll be up hopefully by midnight, but I guess we'll find out. Anyway, this is about one of the newer archetypes that I personally have been having a lot of fun with, and it's really kind of cool because as a musician, everybody who is a musician uh, worth a damn, no pun intended, knows about Dante's Inferno, and this archetype is actually based directly off of the Dante's Inferno. But anyway, I digress. We're going to be talking about the Burning Abyss archetype, and I'm going to try to make this somewhat quick, but I promise you guys I try to upload more, so I'm uploading more. Anyway, to open up, let's talk about the Burning Abyss cards themselves. There's not too many of them. There's, what, 4 primary cards, one of which is an XYZ, so you have 9 monsters. But those 9 monsters are all floaters, and you basically just run a deck full of floaters, and then you proceed to win because you're a rank 3 spam deck, and so you just have rank of Magic Astral Force to go into big things and then proceed to win. One really cool thing about these guys is the fact that, like I said before, they're all floaters, but they're also, which one is it? I believe it's, which one is this? This is, Burning Abyss Skarm, Malebranc of the Burning Abyss, can actually search out any level 3 Dark Fiend monster, and it's the first card that doesn't require a whole lot of things to use that can actually search out tour guides. So that immediately makes it a really strong deck. All in all, I've had a lot of fun playing this deck. I haven't played too many games with it. I've played maybe 5 games with it. But it's just so much fun. Anyway, each of the Burning Abyss monsters, the normal monsters I should say, share an effect. Basically, if you control a monster that isn't a Burning Abyss monster, the Burning Abyss monsters die. And if you control no spell or trap cards, you could immediately special summon them from your hand. That's very useful for swarming, and the self-destruction effect can be useful for triggering their own effects because all of their effects trigger while in the grave, and also for a triggering supply unit for if you really need to. But anyway, I digress. Let's get to the actual deck. We run one Blackluster Soldier, Envoy the Beginning. Blackluster Soldier, Envoy the Beginning is a win button. You drop this and the opponent has to respond to it, or they're gonna lose. It's just flat out, plain and simple, they're going to lose. You run enough light types that you can actually run it. Dante himself, the Traveler, is actually a light type monster, so you actually have more targets than what it looks like. It's just a really good card. But anyway, moving on. I've been trying Dark Necrofear. I originally had Dark Armed Dragon in here, which also works well, but Dark Necrofear is a 2800 point blocker, and it lets me slam into enemy big stuff and then take it over for fun. Anyway, it's just an out to a lot of different things. We run one Chaos Sorcerer because, hey, we can't run 2 BLS. Thank God we can't run 2 BLS. This would be busted as hell if we could run 2 BLS. But anyway, Chaos Sorcerer is a fine supplement. We run one Felice the Lightsworn Archer. We mill a lot of our own stuff, and this actually gives us an option with Mathematician to go into Arcanite Magician. Literally, Mathematician is a 1-card Arcanite Magician. You use Arcanite, you use Mathematician, mill Felice, drop Arcanite, proceed to win with that. You can also just use it for easy clear, and you honestly want some of your stuff going to the graveyard to trigger all their effects. So the self-mill effect is really nice, and everybody loves more destruction. Anyway, next up we run 3 Seer Malebranc of the Burning Abyss. This one's own special ability is that if it's sent to the graveyard, you can target one Burning Abyss monster in your graveyard, except for it's another one of itself, and then special summon it. Really useful for swarming. I don't really think I need to tell you too much about this card. It's also a 1600 point body, so it's really, really nice. We run 3 of these because, honestly, we need more Burning Abyss cards. 3 Mathematician. It lets us mill our Burning Abyss cards. It lets us mill... Hell, I've even milled an Effect Veiler so I could drop Blackluster Soldier. Lets you mill Felice for the Arcanite Magician play. It just opens up a lot of things. And then when it dies, you get a card. What's not to love? It's also a level 3, so you can make rank 3 plays with it. It's really good. Next, we have 3 Burning Abyss Graph. This card's special ability, in addition to the other 2 previous Burning Abyss card abilities, is if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Burning Abyss monster from your deck, except for Graph itself. Again, really useful. Manually sending it to the graveyard can trigger off a lot of different things. You can do a whole bunch of fun stuff with it. It's really, really strong. It makes rank 3 plays so easy. In addition, it sort of opens up some looping potentials here. A little bit of a minor loop. Basically, Mathematician mills this. You special summon out. You use its effect. I'm sorry. Special summon out this. This will immediately die, and then during your end phase, you could get a free search off of it. So, and you just sent some darks to the graveyard for Dark Necrofear. So it works out pretty well. Anyway, we run 3 Tour Guide of the Underworld. It's Tour Guide. It's really good. Anyone who tells you otherwise is bad at the game. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that, but it's a kind of true. And then finally, we run 3, I can't pronounce this one, Skarm. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, Skarm, the Mal branch of the Burning Abyss. And again, if this card's sent to the graveyard, during the end phase, you get to search out a Fiend-type monster that's level 3 or lower. Really, really nice card. Lets us search out Tour Guide for easy plays. You could, outside of the Burning Abyss, you could probably slip this in to search out Curry Bandits if you really wanted to. It's just a really good card. And it's a 2k body to defend with. And then finally, we run 2 Effect Veiler. It's Light Monster. It's a tuner if we really need to. If we can't use our Mathematician play or Felice. It also is an off-switch to a lot of different things. I can't think of a single real deck where Effect Veiler would be considered a bad card, personally. It's just a really good card. Next up, onto the spells. Our spell lineup's pretty small, but each one of them is a pretty big game changer. We run 3 rank up magic Astral Force. See my Ghost Trick video about this card, but this card is absolutely ridiculous. It basically lets you play rank 5s by only using rank 3s, and that's ridiculous, because rank 5s are ridiculously overpowered. But yeah, this card's really strong, and you don't really mind losing the ability to draw if you take this card. You search out and draw so many things just by the nature of Burning Abyss, that you can honestly, just use its effect. Just bear in mind that you can't special summon other than using rank up Astral Force. So keep that in mind when you're making your plays. Next up, we run 1 Dark Hole. Dark Hole is Dark Hole. Don't really need to explain it. Monster Reincarnation's an interesting choice. I'm running it just so if I accidentally mill Blackluster Soldier or Dark Necrofear, I have at least a chance to get it back. And by discarding one of the Burning Abyss monsters, you get the Burning Abyss effects. They cannot miss the timing if they're used for a cost. So, basically, I lose a card from my hand, but I get another benefit by adding another card to my hand. And then I get the Burning Abyss effect. So, it's effectively a free, quote-unquote, return from my deck in terms of hand advantage or field presence. So, it's really nice. And you'll see later that I have several cards that abuse the hell out of the fact that Burning Abyss monsters do not miss timing. 1 Foolish Burial, so we can get stuff directly into the graveyard. Send Burning Abyss cards to the graveyard to get their effects. Send Effect Veiler to the graveyard if you need to. Send Felice to the graveyard if you need to. Yada, yada, yada. Then finally, 3 Supply Units. It's Supply Unit. You have a lot of things that float around and search stuff. It's really good. Honestly, this is a really strong card. I love this card. And there's not a whole lot to say. It's more hand advantage if they kill your shit. and you're probably going to be blowing up your own shit quite a few times to trigger certain effects. So it works out nicely. Next up, I run 3 Raigeki Breaks. Raigeki Break, again, is a free card, basically if you use in a Burning Abyss to pay for it, because you'll get an advantage in another way thanks to the Burning Abyss card you just spent with it. So the cost is effectively negated if you're talking card advantage. It's just spot removal, basically, and you could use all the spot removal you can get in this deck. 1 Torrential Tribute. It's Torrential Tribute. It's the same reason why you run Dark Hole. It's Torrential Tribute. I don't need to explain it. 3 Phoenix Wing Blast, because hey, I can't run 6 Raigeki Breaks. Otherwise, I'd probably run 6 Raigeki Breaks. I'm running this over Karma Cut because Karma Cut can do the same thing, except Phoenix Wing Blast also can target spell cards. Also, because I have 3 Raigeki Breaks effectively for free if I do it properly, and 3 Phoenix Wing Blasts for free if I do it properly, I effectively have 6 Mystical Space Typhoons. That's why I don't run 3 in my main deck. It's just a lot of fun. This card is really strong, though. Anyway, 2 Breakthrough Skill. More effect negation's always nice. 1 Divine Wrath, because hey, again, it's basically a free card, and more effect negation. And 1 Solemn Warning. It's Solemn Warning. I shouldn't have to explain what Solemn Warning does, but it's a really good card. Anyway, let's go through our rank 3s real quick. We run 2 Dante, Traveler of the Burning Abyss. This card is, well, its effect is detach 1 XYZ material from this card and choose up to 3 cards. You can mill up to 3 cards with this card, and for each card you mill, it gains 500 attack. If this card attacks at the end of the damage step, or at the end of the battle phase, I should say, it gets changed to defense position. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you could target 1 Burning Abyss card in your graveyard, accept this card, and add it to your hand. Long story short, it's a card trooper, but bigger, and a light type, and the ability to turn to defense mode so you don't eat stupid amounts of damage. Yeah, this card just basically became staple in Light Sworns, in my opinion, but that's a whole nother topic altogether. This card is amazing. It becomes a 2,500 point beater. It mills stuff, so you get a chance to mill your Felice, you get a chance to mill your Burning Abyss stuff, load up the graveyard for Necrofear, get Light Types in the graveyard for Black Luster Soldier, and when it dies, you get to add another card from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, that's really good. With Rank Up Magic Astral Force, you can bring out, Pleiades, which is basically, if you do it properly, it has 3 bounces. It's a 3-use compulsory evacuation device on a 2,500 point body. That's pretty strong. All in all, you don't need 3. You're probably going to only need up to 2. I've never needed a 3rd one, and it's just a really good card altogether. Next, we run 1 Wind Up Zenmains. It's Zenmains. It's a defensive wall. It's a fire type. It's really good. You don't have a Rank Up Magic Astral Force target with this thing, though, so be careful. But it's a really, really strong card. Next up, we have 1 Mecha Equipped Engineer. Mecha Equipped Engineer is a really strong card. It helps with OTK, with defense, and it's just a really solid rank 3. And did I put that card in? No, I did not. You also don't have a rank up force target with this thing, but it's okay. It's a good enough card on its own. Next up, we run 2 Ghostrick Alucard. Ghostrick Alucard is a really, really solid card. It's 1,800 points attack, and it's just a really good card. Back row hate is back row hate, and you can even target face down monsters if they're on the defensive. So it really works out nicely. And you can go into Crimson Knight Vampire Braum with this card, with rank up magic. So that's really, really cool. Honestly, this is probably my favorite rank 3, second only to Dante, but I just love Dante because of the reference. So, all in all, this is a really good card. If you're not bringing out Dante, this is probably your second best thing, because you just go into this and just have field presence all day long. It's just really good. We run one Granosaurus. All in all, this is a pretty bad card. Dealing 1,000 additional points of damage is probably not going to be a game breaker. But it's a fire element target that lets you go into Volcanosaurus, which is a really good card. Spot on destruction and spot burn damage is really nice. Just for free. And it doesn't really have a drawback, other than the fact that it can't attack if you do that, and that's barely anything missed. So, next up, we run one number 47 Nightmare Shark, and this is basically a finisher. It's, you can just attach a material and slam into the opponent for 2,000 points of damage right in the schnoz. All in all, it's a really nice card. And finally, one Chronomaly Crystal Chrononaut. You don't really use this card for its effect, but it does let you get into your highest attack point monster, which is a 4K beater. For no good reason. Oh, and by the way, if you detach a material from this card when it's selected as when your opponent declares an attack, you just nuke the entire enemy fields. So, yeah, this card is ridiculous. Yeah, that's the only reason why I run Chronomaly. It's a fine card on its own, but with rank up magic, this just becomes really, really strong, and it's basically another win condition. And finally, for those XYZs on the board that you've basically burned through all of your stuff, so you could just drop Guy on top of it, and then have a Piercer that has 2,600 attack points. So that's really nice. And finally, one Arcanite Magician. So anyway, guys, that's the main deck and this extra deck. The side deck is sort of a work in progress. Long story short, I run a third Effect Veiler in there because Effect Veiler. I run all of this primarily for Shaddolls, this for everything else, and then this for Madolches. Basically, it's a lot of Monarchs, primarily 3 Rises, so I can't be super polyed by the Shaddolls, and then 2 Storm forward. And then, yeah, that's basically all Shaddol hate, because L Shaddolls are retarded. I would not be surprised if Shaddolls topped, because they honestly are like, kinda dumb. Anyway, guys, that's the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Again, thank you all for so much for all the support. I really do appreciate it. Anyway, I'm the Gamer Ninja, and I hope you all have a great Wednesday day, or whatever day it is when you watch this. And I'll catch you all in the next videos.